Hi, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome! Today we are going to talk about a brand new game that just finished Kickstarter and has shipped, and it is called Dice Command from Ejected Planet. It's a game from Tyler Holman and Sam Crystal. So, Dice Command is a semi-abstract tactical war game for 2 to 4 players. In each game, players will go head-to-head in a tug-of-war battle to fuel the war machine. Players carefully build up their armies and technology while simultaneously adjusting to their opponents on the battlefield. Deciding when to attack and when to defend can mean the difference between victory and defeat. With tight, lightning-fast gameplay and deep strategic choices, no 2 games of Dice Command will feel the same. So we're going to take you through a unboxing, setup, playthrough, 2 players, maybe 4. Looks like a small footprint game. So bear with me as we go down to the table. So here we are looking at the box. This is Dice Command Ejected Planet, and the box is quite small, heavy though. And you can see the back of the box here. It's for 2 to 4 players. I don't think there's a solo mode, though this screams for a kind of a solo mode. It is, I'd say, it's a dice placement game. So there's a bit of rolling your dice, and that's what your armies are based upon. And you can see the board right here, and we're going to look at it a little closer in a minute. So let's take a look at what's in this box. If we can, I will bring out an implement of destruction. As you can watch my face and fumble as we take up the mantle of Dice Command. Are you up to the task? Can you beat your fellow player? I don't know. I have never played this. I want to thank, I think it was Tyler who sent me this copy through Everything Board Games. And so we'll be doing this for Everything Board Games, and eventually we'll put it out on North of 60 Gaming as well. But probably the timing will be a little later on that. So this is the box. As I say, it's really not that big. So let's just open it up if I can, and let's just see what's in the box. As always, I'm not going to pull it apart completely because usually we'll do a setup video. Oh man, there we are. So of course the rules. Oh, my mat's got stuff on it. Problem with a high quality video cam is that it picks up every little spot. There we are. There is the rulebook. 2 to 4 players, 14 plus, 45 minutes to play. Now, here are the rules. Unlike Unsettled, which I just did an unboxing for, though this is smaller, the colors are a little bit more easily to read here, though they are small. There we are. Gameplay. There is the player boards. There's 2 player boards, I believe. And this is it. So basically, when you play, this is what you're looking at. That's pretty small footprint. Now here I believe that you pick structures out. And you can play up to 4 players. And there are the various and assorted. Oh, and look at this. I like this. Let's pull it out if we can. Get out. You're seeing it here, folks. So each one has its own box, which is kind of neat. Oh, okay, so these are the barracks. Neat. What's in there? There should be some dice somewhere. Oh, there we are. Oh, look at that. I don't think you can see that, but that's a dog tag, pardon me. First player. Oh, this is the first player marker as a dog tag. That's kind of cute. Tons and tons of dice. There's, I think, 10 of each color dice, and the idea is to get 4 behind the lines. And then there's not the structures, because they were in part of the counters. My English is, and then we have cards, and the cards give you further things that you can do on a turn. So you're going to have 3, and if you use one, it gets put away. If you don't use one, the one on the right falls off. Each player will get its bunker. They will get initially 5 dice. They will roll those dice, and then they will start using the basic cards to place them and do things on the board. And then we'll have these other cards that go down and play. I watched the video just so I could at least talk about it before I do something about it. But that basically, that's kind of nice. I like the way they've done these boxes. So that's really good. But that is what is in the box. So that is a very, very quick unboxing. What can I tell you? I think I like small footprint games. I don't know whether you could do a solo mode for something like this with dice, but I think you could. And even if you did, you could probably have fun playing two-handed just to learn. We are in lockdown still, thanks to COVID, which means we can't have anybody over to play anything. So I am sad. Our game club didn't meet this week, and the guys that are meeting up for D&D are all doing it over Zoom again. Hopefully we'll get back to normal very, very soon. But that is Dice Command. We will definitely be doing a run-through on that. So bear with me. It might be a day or two. Of course, for you, it's instantaneous because I'm just going to play it and it'll look like, hey, it's magic. He's just continuing on. But to be all honest, I usually have 3 or 4 projects on the go. And so I might not get back to this for a couple of days. But all in all, so let's get down to the table. While you're at it, enjoy a good cup of joe. You can see mine's empty, but what I want to show you is this. Isn't that neat? North of 60 Gaming. Ooh. Oh, and this. My wife loves this. I love this. My Cthulhu mug. It's a no-spill sippy mug, which is perfect for the gamer. We are ready with Dice Command. We have the rules set up. You can see we have our turn summary as well as the deploy and advance type reference cards. We have our barracks. These are just the components, so we're not quite ready to play, but I just wanted to show you the various components that were part of the game. We have our counters, we have mines, we have credits, we have our atomic. I haven't figured out what these repairs are. I'm not quite sure. It probably has to do with one of the cards that are in the deck. These are our tactical cards. And these have various, add various effects through the game, so they give you extra things to do. We have our, way over here, I should have pulled these out earlier. We have our special ops cards, and these are the basic cards that each one of our players will get. These are the alliance cards if we were playing 4-player. Each pair of an alliance would have this extra alliance card. And then each will get a set of 4 basic cards, and you can see that they are upgradable if you put money into the upgrade or atomic, which is basically a research action. And each of these are all the same. Each color has 4 of them. We have dice, number of dice. We have a yellow dice. I haven't figured out what that yellow dice is. I have a feeling it's for something going on in one of the cards. We have our structures, and we have our various structures. What's going to happen at the beginning of the game is each player is going to get 2 structures and decide on which one. And I'm going to show you what we do with that structure. We're going to simulate a 2-player game. The barracks, that's where your dice are going to go in, and you're going to roll your dice. Here we have the board. The board is set on the free-for-all. If we were playing a 4-player, we would have a free-for-all. And we would fight in the middle, and the idea is kind of like Chinese checkers, where we're actually going to go from one side to the other and try to get 4 on there, and then you're going to fight. But we're going to have all the players coming in through the middle. And then, of course, if you want to play normally, what you're going to do is you're going to play your 2 sides. So for a 4-player game, this is what a 4-player game looks like, and you're playing teams. So this would be 2 versus 2. or as opposed to the other side that we just saw, which was 1 versus 1 versus 1. And for today, we are going to be playing a 2-player game, and so that will be looking like this. And it'll be just this board. So we're going to take a moment. I'm going to sort out some dice. We're going to put out some of the cards that we need to play, and the cards that each player needs to play. We're going to pick a color of dice. We're going to take the structures and decide which 2 structures each player wants to play, and we'll show you that. And we're going to be ready to do that in just this moment. So let's. I'm just going to straighten this all out for you, and then we're going to come back and play. So we're going to just continue on in the setup. So one of the first things we do is we're going to set up our tactical cards. Each one of these tactical cards is going to help us through the game. Now, on the very, very bottom is a ceasefire card. This ceasefire card, if we get through the deck and we get to this card, then that is going to trigger the end game. And the person with the most units behind enemy lines is going to win. But if there's a tie, it's the most research and then the most credits. So you're going to start with the most units behind the line, then the most research tokens that are left in your control, and the most credits that are left in your control. And that is the victory conditions. This will be on the bottom. So we're going to shuffle up these tactical cards, and we'll look at them as we play the game. Once we have finished shuffling, we're going to take the top 3 cards, put them right up here. 2 and 3. And we'll explain how to use them as we go. But here we have a flamethrower. We have a armor support and forced retreat. And we'll be able to make use of these spaces or pay $2 and get a flamethrower. And we'll have to look at that when we get. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to give each one of, we're going to take our structures, and I'm going to deal out 2 to the blue player and 2 to the red player. Now in secret, we are going to look at these. So I'm going to look at what we have here. We have nuclear silo. Start of turn, gain 1 headquarter token. The controlling unit takes 3 damage. Or sorry, start of turn, gain 1 research token. The controlling unit takes 3 damage. Ouch. Or a research token. Gain 2 research tokens, and it costs us $2 and a dice. Whew. It's a tough one, but I don't, that's a good one. But I think this is the better one. So we're going to take that one. And then what we're going to do is give our opponent, the red player, a chance to take a look at what he's going to do. The decisions have been made, and what they're going to do is flip. So we have the research facility, and then if we use a dice and $2, we can gain 2 research tokens, and that is next to the 2. So if we have a dice controlling this, we can trigger this. The red players decided to go with salvage yard. After surveying an engagement, after surviving any engagement on your turn, gain 1 credit. Again, if that is kind of a passive effect, so as long as he has a controlling dice over here and he survives, he is going to get a credit. So either one of us can actually control the middle, and you can see the 1 spot, the 2 spot, so 2 and the 1. Now the idea, of course, as already explained, is that what we want to do is get our, like Chinese checkers, we're going to start our dice from here. The blue army must get down behind enemy lines and have 4 dice behind there, and the same with the red. Now, there is a significance to the blue and red. If anybody is as old as I am, which is possible, of course, because all ages are allowed to play war games, someone may remember the game Blitzkrieg. As I adjust the... Blitzkrieg was an old Avalon Hill game, played back and created in, I believe, the late 60s or very early 70s. It could even be a little earlier. I'll look that up and put it in the comments, or actually in the subtitles. And we used to call that the old Red and Blue. And that was Blitzkrieg from Avalon Hill, where it was an abstracted kind of warfare where you had red and blue fighting each other, and you had infantry and heavy infantry, and depending if you were able to get the SPI expansion, you could have airplanes and all kinds of stuff. And that was one of the first tabletop war games I actually did own back in the 60s, which is, well, over not 40 years ago, but I'd say 35, 50, actually, damn, 50 years ago. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Oh my God, now if you figured out what I just said, you can do the math and figure out my age. Yeah, so somewhere in the 50 years ago, somewhere between I didn't buy it in 1966. I would have bought it probably around 1972, 71, in the era of which I was very interested in war games. But this is the entire setup. We are ready to play. We're going to roll the dice to see who's going to go first. Blue is going to go first. And we are ready to go. So just before we get started, I just want to hold up the various, you can't see very well down here. You might be able to if you're not like me and be blind. But this first card is one of the basic moves, and this is financing. So we can assign a unit to generate a credit. So you can put 1 dice here or 2 dice here. The value does not matter. And you can upgrade for a research token. So everybody has these 4 cards. Next is a headquarters unit. This will allow you to deploy up to 2 units and advance 1 of those units. Now, inherently, all units get a move on the board. However, if you deploy to this, you will get an extra unit. Again, the upgrade is 1 research token. Here is conscription. So for $1, you can get 1 unit. For $2, you can get 2 units. And again, there is an upgrade. And we'll look at the upgrades a little closer as that happens. And then here is our research and development. If you put 2 dice here, you will get a research token. As you can see, this one costs 5 to turn over. All the other ones is just a simple 1. This costs 5. The reason being is there's some superpowers on this side, including an atomic warfare, which allows you to automatically put 2 units behind the enemy's lines. And at the start of your turn, you may exchange 1 research token to construct 1 unit or gain 2 credits. So you can see why it's expensive. So that is the basic moves, along with our 3 tactical cards that we can use. And the first being the Flamethrower. Deal 3 damage to all units in the 3 spaces in front of a unit you own. And you could use that and spend $2. This one is force deploy a assigned unit on top of any infantry unit you own. This unit may not be deployed in an enemy zone. So what that means is force deploy means that normally in the game you can only have a single facing number up. So in other words, you can only have maximum of 6 dice, values 1 through 6. However, if you have a force deploy, you can break that rule. So basically that card says if I do this, I can force deploy a 2 on top, even if I had a light infantry for 2 right there. Then that's all that card means. And lastly, forced retreat. Choose 1 opponent in any order, move all the units they own back 1 space towards their own front line. If this causes an engagement, resolve it immediately. So what happens if we use that? If we use this one, it goes away, and these just move down. If we use this one, it comes off and gets replaced. If we don't use it, if none of them get used, this one goes away and they all get moved down. So depending on how it's used, if at the end of the turn, these are going to change throughout the game. So I think we have all the rules. I think we are ready to go, and we'll look at the turn phases as we go. So we've determined that blue is going to go first. The first thing we're going to do is roll our dice. And the nice thing about these barracks is that they're basically a dice tray. So we have a 6, a 4, a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 1. So those are the dice that we have to play with. So I think one of the first things I want to do is I'm going to take a dollar and I'm going to conscript a unit. So following along here, and I should have brought this up, we're going to prepare, which we don't need to do in this first go, or first turn. Then we're going to roll, which we just did, and then we're going to assign. So I've assigned a credit, and then I'm going to assign, I think, 2 to the research. And then, whoops, I'm on the wrong side. Oh, bad Harry. And then I want to, I think I'm going to generate a credit. And then I'm going to deploy. And I'm going to advance. So we've now done our assigned portion. Now we're going to move down to the recovery or the resolve. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to put our unit back, and we're going to conscript a new dice for next turn. We are going to generate 1 research token. We're going to generate a credit. The research tokens are actually here. I'm going to assign to 3. Now the important thing of a 3 is, if we look at the back, is that is a light infantry. So it actually gets to move 2 spaces. Now, it shows you the movement. It can move forward or diagonally. It can never move side to side or back. It can never move back unless a card, of course, tells it moves back. So we're going to move 1, 2. Actually, he's going to move back 1, 2. And then he's going to move his last dice and move 1, 2. This will allow him to take advantage. Oh, I want to move to 2 because I want to be able to take advantage of get research tokens very, very quickly. That is the end of the turn. That's as quick as turns are. Then it comes back to our red player. Now 1, 2, and 3 is a light infantry, so this is a light infantry. We have a 6, a 2, a 1. Another 1. So he's going to also put a light infantry in and do a deployment. He's going to spend a dollar and to get a unit. And I think what he's going to do is, which we've already put there, but that's okay. Assign to generate. He's going to assign to get a credit back. He's going to assign 2 more dollars. He's going for it. So he's going to assign all his money to get that next unit. And in fact, we'll resolve it in the resolve phase. He is going to generate a carrot, a credit, and he is going to put 2 dice down here to generate a research token. So the first thing he is going to do is resolve, and you can resolve this in any order, is these 3 tokens go away. He gets 2 dice. He is now going to take a credit of the research token. Oh, the one thing we should have done is move that along. And on the end of the last turn. And we'll just discard that. Force deploy, no. Move, no. Place up to 3 mines, no. So none of those he could actually do. So he is then going to deploy this 3. And he's going to advance it. So he's basically going to do this. 1, 2, and then 2 more, 3, 4, because he can move 2. And he can put his science token in that he's already done. So that should give him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. to our 5, 6 dice. And that is the end of the turn, which means this card comes up. And these two move over. And that is all there is for this one. So, we have 2 minefields. That's interesting. So I think he's going to use one of his... First he needs to roll his dice. Let's follow the phases. The first is the roll, the prepare phase. There are no start of battle no start of battle effects going on right now. We're going to roll our 5 dice. So we're going to take $1 and we're going to put that here. And we'll have to trigger it with a dice. Then we're going to take another $1. I think what he's going to do is going to spend to put 2 dice on. Actually wants to do this and this. And then he wants an advance. He can't do a search and deploy, so the only thing he can do is that. First thing he's going to do is make use of these 2. So he is going to take his 2 and his 3, and he's going to put the 2 here, and perhaps the 6 here. He can take this off to get his buck. Take this off to put that on there. What he's going to do over here is he's actually going to move. He can move 1 space because he is a heavy infantry. And you can see that right here. Heavy infantry is a 4, 5, and 6. We're going to move 2, 1, 2. And then we're going to resolve a minefield. So what we're going to do is put that away. And take our dice away. We are going to put our minefield. If we look at our minefields, we have to look at the unit, and we're going to put a mine. I think we're going to do our infantry here. So we're going to put a mine here. Actually, we'll do it here. So we're going to put a mine here. A mine here, and a mine here. This goes into the discard pile. That is the end of my turn. There are no conflicts at this point. I could have gotten a couple of research tokens, and maybe we'll do that next turn. But at this point in time, that is the end of the turn. This gets slid down. We turn this over, and that is espionage. And it says, steal a research token from an enemy. Roll a d6 if rolled value is greater than that equal to the assigned total. Destroy a unit assigned to this card. And lastly, we have a advance. And we are going to move up our die. I think we'll move up our heavy infantry. No, we're going to move up our light infantry. 1, 2. So there's no conflict at this point. Puts a little pressure on him to do something about our 2 dice that are coming his way. So what's going to happen is this gets moved. We already did that. We replaced the card. We've replaced it with, looks like another, we have espionage, minefield, flamethrower. We are all done. So let us roll our dice. 5, 5, 2. So we have some good ones here. So I think what we're going to show you is he's going to take 2 of these 5s and pile them on top of each other on a deploy. He's also going to deploy a 2. He's going to put a advance. He's going heavy, and then he's going to go into a research and development. and to get another. I think that's a good move for him. Again, we are trying to show you a bit of what is going on here. And so we are now ready to resolve because we have done our prepare phase. We don't have any beginning of turn phase stuff. We've rolled, we've assigned, now we're ready to resolve, and we can resolve in any order. First thing he's going to do is he's going to put his 2 5s right here. He is going to take a 2 and put it here. And then he's going to advance. So he's going to move his light infantry up 2, 1, 2. He is going to now advance his armored unit up 1 and take a research token. So the first thing we do after the red turn, of course, is to delete or remove the one tactical card, and we'll draw the next one. And the next one is armored support. Force deploy an assigned value on top of an infantry unit you own. This unit may not be displayed, not be deployed in an enemy zone, which would be down here. That's actually that might be actually good for us. So we are now ready to roll, prepare. We don't have any end of or beginning of turn things to do. So we are going to roll our blue dice. So we have a 6, a 1, a 5. So I think one of the things we're going to do is we're going to take our 1 and we're going to put that over to here. I think what we're going to do is also we're going to take a research token, and I think we're going to upgrade our financing. We're going to deploy a unit for $1. Oops, and that was I think a 3. I just turned it over by accident. I'll just re-roll it. Okay, 6. It wasn't a 6, so I think it was a 3 or a 4. I think what we're going to do, actually, was it a 5? What you're hearing is my dog hitting the door. So what we're going to do is I'm going to force deploy. So I've got that. So we're going to put this guy on a deploy. This guy on the $, and this guy on the advance. And that is all we're going to do. For the first thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to take our research token. We're certainly going to use our 1 die here to gain our credit. We'll trigger our research for our finance. Oh, I get that. So I wouldn't have put that here. I probably would have done something like this. So I made a mistake. I should have put the 6 up here because I read this card wrong. When you force deploy, you deploy this card. So I'm going to have a 3 and a 1. A little bit of a change. So what's going to happen is I'm going to force deploy this. Now this is the only time I can actually have a 6 and a 6. So actually I would have made a mistake here, and maybe the 1 and the 3 would have had to stay like this. So I would put the 1 over to here. And then I would do my advance. So everybody's going to advance. He's light infantry. He advances 2. He can advance. He's going to stay here. He's going to advance 1. He's going to advance 2. 1 because he's a light infantry. And then he's going to advance 1 more, or heavy infantry, I should say. He's going to advance 1 more right here. So sorry about that little mix-up here. Remember the rule, unless it's a forced deploy, I cannot have the same numbers, regardless of whether it's going on top of a unit or not, and we're going to replace that card. It is now the red's turn. He has 3 dice to roll. I've replaced that with a sniper. It says, deal 6 to an enemy infantry unit. Whew. So we have a couple of infantry units here. We have a 6, a 3, and a 4. He is going to take this, and he is actually going to put that on his headquarters unit. I believe he likes the headquarters unit. He doesn't have any money. So he's going to put a unit here. he is going to put a dice over to here. And he has one more dice that he can deploy, which he'll put over to here. So what's going to happen now is it's our unit's a turn. Actually, what he's going to do is actually go... he's going to advance. And I'll tell you why he's going to advance. Because what we're going to do is... So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a sniper shot at an infantry unit. We're going to take a sniper shot at the 3 here. We're going to roll a d6. We can roll this yellow normally. 6. So this d3... Oh, he's not... That's his own man. He's going to kill that unit. And this card comes off, of course. He's going to deploy his 6, which he can do right here. And then he's going to advance all his units that are on the board. So he's going to advance this one this way. He's going to advance this one 1. Now he's going to advance the 1. And then he's going to advance his second time, which puts them right there. So we're basically going to add up the pips. We have 8 versus 10. So these 2 dice are going to be killed, and he's going to lose a dice, and this gets turned to a 2. So it's the difference. And so now we can see that's how combat works. And of course, this gets turned over. And that is the end of the turn. And blue has lost his advantage over there. And he has survived a combat. And he is on the 1 and on the 1, which means he gets a credit. A great way to get a credit. And that is the end of the turn. And now it is back to the blue player, who is now pretty much depleted in forces. And he's going to have to build up somehow. So blue is going to start. The first thing we're going to do, we have no beginning of turn phase. We're going to roll. He has a 5 and a 5. So one of the things he's going to do, he's going to have to conscription. So he's going to have to do a conscription. And he's going to go this way. I think also that he's going to use his 1 upgrade here to update his conscription card. I think what he's going to do is he's going to put a 5 here. And then he's going to put a 5 on a deploy. That is the end of his turn. Of course, we're going to start. So we're going to take 2 units from the reserve to go here for the next turn. We are going to turn over the conscription. We are going to deploy the 5. Actually, we can't do that. The reason being is that it's a force deploy, so we actually can do that. So we're going to force deploy this 5 right here. We're going to put it in the center for now, and we can force deploy one from our reserve, matching this unit. So I don't know what, because it's from the reserve, so he'd go 5. So we are that way. That is the end of his turn. And then we get to move. So he's going to move. He's a heavy infantry. He only gets to move 1. He is a light infantry. 1, 2. And we're going to move our infantry this way. 1. That is the end of the turn. We are over to the red turn now. We have no beginning of start of turn effects. We will roll our dice. We have a 3, 3, a 4. This one, the reinforcements actually got put away, so we're going to have to draw another one, which is steal a research token. I don't think he's going to do that, but I think what he's going to do is take a unit and put it here to put some mines down. And then he has a 3 and a 4. He's going to take his here and put that on financing. And then what we're going to do, I think, is a deploy, a 4, and, oops, was it? Yeah, deploy and advance. Unfortunately, he has no money at this point. At the beginning of the turn, of course, we are now into the resolve phase. So we're going to resolve our research. We're going to resolve our mind. We're going to move, I believe. Well, actually, we're going to deploy. So where are we going to deploy? We have a 4. I think we'll just put that over here for now. Then we're going to take our mines. There and there. And we're going to turn this card around. And I believe what we're going to do is do a minefield. So we're going to do here, 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 and here, which is fine. And then we're going to advance. So we're going to start advancing. We have a heavy infantry, 4, 5, 6 here. We have a light infantry. He could move off here. That might make sense. He's going to move his light infantry. 1, 2. And that's going to move this to the reserve. That takes him down. He's going to move this one up 1. He's going to move this one up 1, 2. And he's going to move this one up 1, 2. And he has one more for an advance. So he is going to move this one over to here at this point. Oh, those should be mines, actually, not money. So you can see I put the money out, not the mines. So we're just going to do a quick change. If you hear bird tweeting, again, it's the dogs. They're playing with a toy. I'll put the picture of the Rottweiler up. There we are. Okay, we have come back to our blue player at this point. We are going to replace the cards. We are replacing it with Fresh Recruit. Place this card in your barrack. After resolving it, you may discard it during a roll phase to reroll any number of dice in your barracks. So for now, we only have $1 left. We have a 6, a 3, and a 1. We have only 1 money. Whew. He really doesn't have any money. So I think what he's going to do is, whoops, that was a 3. One, and he's going to deploy. That was a 6. Oh, we can't deploy a 6. Okay, we're going to take the deploy there. We're going to take $1 there. We're going to put that there, which allows me to force deploy a value 1 from your reserve. And I'm going to spend my last $1 to get another research. Nope, another unit. Okay, so now we are going to resolve all this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to resolve that, which takes us, let's just force deploy a unit. We are going to deploy a unit. We are going to grab a $1. And we're going to deploy a unit into our reserve. Now we're going to move. He is an infantry. He can only move 1, so he can go this way 1. He's going to move 1. He's a heavy infantry. He's just going to move here. And that is the end of the turn. We didn't use anything here, so we're going to move everything down. It is Red's turn. Red has some interesting choices now. He has no money. So I think he's going to have to roll. He's going to roll his dice. I could. That doesn't make any sense, but it's a good book where you can return 3 units back. We have a 6. We have a 3 if we want to deploy. I think at this point, I think he's going to want to get a credit. And he's going to deploy. He can't deploy the 6. So I think he's going to take another credit. So he's going to take a total of 2 credits. This is all he's doing this turn. 2 credits into his reserve. We're into the movement phase. He's got a heavy infantry for 1. He could move to take that out, but you know what? He just says, I'm going to slip right this way. He's going to move up this way, and this way. And he doesn't have an extra deploy action. That is the end of the turn. We are over to here. We have no beginning of turn stuff to do. We are going to roll our dice. And this falls off, of course, I should say. And you can see we have a 3, 1, and 1, which is not a good, not that good. Yeah, I don't think I can, I don't have, okay, so he's got $1. He can put that there. He's going to put $1 there. He's going to take a second $1 here because he can't deploy these. And he's going to do an extra advance. So that's where what he's going to do. So here we are. We're going to resolve everything. First thing he's do is going to take $1. And he's going to put his last unit in the barracks. He is going to take $2. He is now going to do his moves and advance. First thing we're going to do is he's going to come over to here, avoiding the mines, of course. So we can see we have a 10 and we have a 2. So this gets taken down to a 3. This is gone. He's going to advance this particular column 1. He's going to I think he's going to, I should have deployed something here. Nothing he can do, so he might as well take the 2 moves. Okay, now we're going to take our extra movement, which is going to take us to this here. He has a 6 to our, so we have 3. So we have 2 left now. We're down to a light infantry. That red is gone, that blue is gone. And you can see the blue is gone. So when we die, we go back to our fence there, basically. And then we had 3 dice to begin with. So this dice would have gone back to here because he died. And this dice would have gone back to here because he died. And that is all that we do here. That was the blue turn. Not a bad turn for the blue player. It is now the red player's turn. No beginning of effects. He's going to roll his dice. He didn't take advantage of anything here, so I should have taken that out. I seem to forget about that. Choose any space away, deal 2 damage. Oh, ooh, a frag grenade, but he doesn't. Oh, he has that money. That's a good one. It's not going to go away, but I don't want him to have it either. Well, let's just see what we're going to do here. I think he's going to do that. He's going to spend his $2. He's going to go $2 here. Wow, or he's going to... Never mind. He's going to spend the unit to get a unit on here. Put a unit because he wants to get another $1 for sure. And I think he's going to do 2 deploys. So that is the entire of what he is going to do this turn. Of course, this allows him to gain another dice. This allows him to get a $1 in the box. Now we can deploy. So we're going to deploy a 4 and a 5. This game is a little bit more difficult than you really think. Now, I know I'm playing two-handed, and I'm just trying to show you how it works. But if you were playing 2 players, I could see that this could actually take a very, very long time as you try to outmaneuver the other player. So the first thing we're going to do, we have a light infantry, 1, 2. We have got a man behind the lines, which is a good thing. Next thing you know, he's going to move up 1, 2. So he's almost there. He's going to move up 1. He's going to move up 1. Now, he could let him go. But he says, I'm going to bump this guy here. So that's 1. And there's 3 left. So we've got down to a 3 here. He is gone. And that is the game basically. Now, I think we're going to stop here. There's really no need to go through a full game here. I think you've seen just about everything we could do. We've upgraded. We've done it. We've gained some money. We've done some research and development. We've used a couple of the tactical cards. We used one of the buildings. That is basically the entire game. And the winning condition, of course, would be if one of us had this. That would be the absolute winning condition. But I don't think we need to play because this is only a tutorial run through. If I was playing somebody else, then we'd probably go through. The only thing we didn't do was a sabotage. So what happens in a sabotage, and we'll just go over that, is let's just say I decide to sabotage this. When a unit basically hits there, you sabotage the space. And to remove the sabotage, I would have to put a unit there. Then the unit would go off and the sabotage would go off. So it's really just a lose a turn type mechanism. But that is Dice Command. So let's go up for some final thoughts and let me tell you how I think about it. So first of all, Dice Command reminds me of a kind of a World War II battle where you have light infantry, heavy infantry, and just the base units. I talked about that a little bit earlier about the Blitzkrieg feel of the sort of the SPI game. And this game kind of gives me that in a more modern way than the old SPI game did or the old Avalon Hill game did back in the early 70s. This is a smart game, Ejected Games. The two designers did a marvelous job here in sort of capturing a real back and forth feel of the battle board, despite the abstract of the units. So you almost feel like you're a unit to unit, a small unit, like a squad unit, like maybe 3 tanks or maybe not a full platoon, just a squad, like 4 men. And, you're taking your platoon across and you're taking your little infantry support. And you've got the variability of the game with the tactical cards, which basically could turn the game around in a turn if you were losing and all of a sudden something turned up. And now I got a sniper. Bang, gone. I've just killed your unit. Or the nuclear silo, which rolls a d6. Anybody within 2, you can control the center. I think that's one of the more important things here. In most abstract games, if you can control the center, pardon me, you can control the game. The components are good. The mounted boards are very, very nice. The dice are of good quality. The cards have a good feel. Now, I did sleeve, but they had a really good feel and finish to them. It's just me, OCD. The first player marker, the ID tag, is a treat. All in all, I would say that if you saw this game in retail and had an opportunity to pick it up and you like these kind of back and forth games, now beware, this is not a solo game. This is a 2 versus 2, 2 versus 2, 2 versus 2. So in other words, 4 players but teams. And then lastly, you're going to have a 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. In other words, it's a free-for-all, like Chinese checkers. You have to get to the other side of the box. And in the middle is just mayhem, which probably would make for a very, very fun game, especially with the group that I play, who love to just screw you. So it would be a fun game that way. I highly recommend this. If you can find it, Ejected Planet is the publisher, and I will try to get a link to where you can purchase this. It might be on Lake Pledge, and I will tell you that in the comments below, or maybe I'll just flash it up here. But I think I'll give you a link in the comments that you can actually click. Great game. Highly recommend it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this game at all. It is a perfect little game, and it would be great to take travel. If I was going with a friend who liked these kinds of games, I would take this and we could put it out on a bar, have a few beers. It's a nice beer and pretzel game. There it is. It is not Allies, what is it, 1944 or whatever that is, that Hasbro game. But this is a nice beer and pretzel game. I would do that. So if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want more notifications. I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe or like, because this is an encouragement to how I do my work and to bring more content to you And I really would like to continue doing that. Not that I'm stopping, because I'm having a blast. I'm having a lot of fun. Met a nice people. I've been treated very, very well for a small content creator. So this is all for me. Till the next time, we have a lot of things coming up in the next few weeks. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you in the next video.